Yo, we're cooking though.
Yo,
we're cooking
dude.
though.
Yeah,
Dude, damn me up, bro.
Like most genres of music, there's more diversity and uniqueness, at least in my opinion, in underground rap. I like overground rap, you know, it's catchy, it's easy to dance along to, you could be in a whole crowd full of people and they could all know the same song and vibe to it so easily. But I personally prefer underground rap. I find it interesting to see that elements of extreme music are starting to leak into the underground scene. And to finally see that blooming in the hip-hop scene is very refreshing. I also think it's cool how within the last 5 years, a more underground style of hip-hop is starting to become more popular. You know, we've seen the rise of people like Yeet and the Opium label, or at least for a couple years ago, it was considered more unique. But they managed to sort of make it to the overworld, and now they've become worldwide phenomenons. And yeah, I just think it's cool to witness such a large shift in hip-hop within the last 5 years, and many artists have been taking inspiration from the underground rap scene. You could probably make the argument that even if you aren't familiar with their music, you could still recognize them through their unique aesthetics that they've built. But this video is not about them. It's not about the overground. I'm gonna be making some 2030 predictions for what I think the underground scene is gonna look like in the future. Sorry. And before we continue with the video, guys, I just want to say, keep in mind, I'm just a boy on the oh, that sounded corny as fuck. These are my opinions, and I've gathered these opinions through listening to music. If you disagree with my opinion, that's completely fine. That's your opinion. You know, you're entitled to that. If any of these do come true, just know I'm calling it now, okay? I was a real fan when they were underground. I was there for them when they had 100K monthly listeners. Shed Theory. I want to talk about Shed Theory. I fucking love Shed Theory. You guys don't understand how much I love Shed Theory. And be warned, because I love Shed Theory, I might be glazing them like way too much in this video, okay? In this section, okay? They're most likely gonna be sort of an untold influence. They're not gonna be super recognized, but they will definitely change rap, in my opinion. I also think they're sort of gonna ascend into an aesthetic, almost like Nirvana is today, you know? People will be wearing Shed Theory shirts and not even be listening to them. And I'm gonna be that 30-year-old millennial being like,
do you even know who those guys are? Like, bro, do you even know who these people are, bro?
And even if they don't make it to be like worldwide, the most popular, like the GOATs, I still think they're gonna leave their mark on hip-hop and change hip-hop, honestly, just like Lil B has. I also think they're gonna influence fashion a lot like Playboi Carti or the Sex Pistols or Nirvana did in their time. I feel like all of them have such a unique style. It is actually gonna be very difficult for them to not stand out in any way, shape, or form. I wanna be like this guy. Maybe not him. I wanna be like him, maybe more. A lot of people say this group might actually collapse soon because of drugs, or people have speculated that, and I think that's completely untrue. They've said so themselves. A lot of these guys have been together since childhood, making music, making movies, fucking around in the shed. I mean, Joey has been making music for like over 10 years now, and for a big majority of that, he had completely no clout whatsoever. And you've probably seen a meme of this guy. Sorry. You've probably seen a meme of this guy at some point, haven't you? Shed Theory are going places, let me tell you that. And I was there since day one. Not since day one. Okay, since like day 5. Hollis is an interesting one, and I don't think there's very much to say about him already because it's so noticeable. You can already see he's skyrocketing towards the top. I think he opened for Ken Carson like 2 weeks ago. There's not much to say about him, honestly. You can see he's growing rapidly already. I think he is actually going straight to the top someday. But yeah, much like other underground rappers, you can see he's very clearly influenced by alternative scenes such as punk and rock and goth. Fair play to him. I mean, he's just doing what he wants. He's making the music that he's like, and he's completely winning. And much like every other big underground rapper, he's made his own sort of unique sound, sort of stuck with it. Yeah, because he knows it's something that people are starting to not only recognize his music, but they're gonna recognize him as an aesthetic, and they're gonna associate this cool sound and blend of genres with him. And he's gonna gain a cult following, and that cult is getting big rapidly. Side note, I can't believe people were mad when they found out he was gay. You thought this man was straight. I mean, what the fuck? Like, not to be homophobic or anything, but like, bro, how could you, like, how is that surprising? Haunted Mound. I can't even... Wow. This sort of collective is definitely the collective that is the most inspired by like heavy metal and punk and rock. You know, they're known to be wearing black metal band shirts. They wear patch pants. They sample black metal and death metal songs all the time. Whether you love it or hate it, this is something that is so unique. in every aspect. They just go with full force all the time. I think that's sick, honestly. Here's the problem though, is that although people love the Haunted Mound aesthetic and the sound, they don't like Cemetery that much. Actually no, I don't think it's that they don't like him, but I just think Cemetery has a big reputation for being an asshole to fans and being extremely hypocritical in certain situations, such as when he was dissing Joey. And then when Joey and Cemetery met up at Chief Keef's party, he was too scared to do anything about it and even called the police. Like, what? Cemetery, in your songs, you talk about killing the police. Let's just say he's very left-leaning, but then as soon as he's in a bit of trouble, he calls the police. I don't know, man. I don't judge, it's whatever. He's what, like 19, 21? I don't give a shit, to be honest. Maybe his growth might be stunted by the fact that people don't like him as a person very much, which is, I think, an important part of your aesthetic, honestly. And if I'm honest, I think in terms of music, he's my least favorite member of Haunted Mound. I'm personally more of a Ghost Mountain or Buckshot kind of guy. He is already on the verge of like mainstream and underground, but he definitely has a more underground sort of sound, more abrasive. But I'm glad he's growing, you know, good on him. And they've made it so far anyway that I think it's likely you'll recognize their aesthetic even if you haven't particularly heard of any of them ever. Yeah, like I said, he's probably not gonna make it to the super mainstream, but he will definitely be a cult classic, at least for me. Drain Gang and Blade actually aren't really all that underground anymore. I think Drain Gang actually made their sort of mainstream breakthrough long ago, honestly. If you guys would excuse me, I just want to yap about Drain Gang. But it's very noticeable that a lot of underground rap is usually a mix of different genres. You know, like I said before, Shed Theory is ambient. On Haunted Mound mixes a lot of like metal and punk elements into their music to show how edgy and loud they are. And Hollis and Drain Gang mix disco and pop. A mix of 2 or 3 even different genres of music into one is what sort of attracts people, because not only does it make you stand out, but it attracts people from those specific subgenres of music. And that's actually what got me into sort of underground rap in general, is because I sort of came from like heavy metal and I came from that into rap, and that's where I really started to like, whoa, you know? Side note, I think White Armor is so underrated. I don't think White Armor gets nearly enough credit as he has. I think he's done just as much work and has had just as much influence as Blade and Echo 2K. I don't think producers in general get enough credit for the influence they have, because they literally...
So yeah guys, I like producers, and that's it.
Now a lot of people might get mad at me, but I don't think 1C is going anywhere whatsoever. I don't think 1C is gonna go anywhere. I think 1C is actually gonna be done within the next few years, honestly. It's like there's like 1 billion members. Like, what's that about? Like, I know Shed Theory has a lot of members, but they're all so tightly woven together and everybody knows each other. And a lot of them were like friends since birth. So it's like kind of makes sense that there's like a big sort of group, because it's just like a group of friends. This is like a whole crowd of people. And then you have people who like, these two don't even know each other. And these two fucking hate each other. And it's like, what the fuck is going on? Why are you guys in a group? I don't understand. Overall, I think Xavier So Based has potential. He's very well known in New York, obviously. He's still very young. I think if he carries on like this, he is gonna get big. I don't listen to him too much, but I know he damn well does have potential, for sure. With Fresh Boy Swag, I'm not too sure, you know? Because I think his aesthetic is very different. You know, I'm thinking, is it gonna happen? I don't really know. But then again, you look back at the 70s and there was literally like transvestite drag queens with guitars and people were idolizing them. That could come back, and then Fresh Boy Swag is going straight to the top for that, because like... Net Spend and Osama-san. There's literally nothing else really to say about this, because like Drain Gang, they're already very overground, you know what I mean? Out of all of these sort of underground personas, I think they're the most sort of well-known, especially with all the memes and stuff online. Not only are they very overground anyway, I think their sound also is quite overground anyway as well. My prediction personally is that their sound is going to continue to get less underground. They're probably going to start collaborating with bigger artists, and then their sound, I think as their sound gets larger and more well-known, it's going to develop a less sort of underground feel. And as they collaborate with bigger artists, it'll help boost their overall popularity, and they'll most likely have a big shift in style. I think once the hate stops, because there's a lot of net spend hate right now and it's so forced, it is very, very forced. People are only doing it for the trend. And it's always such a simple cycle where it's like they start making music, and then as their music becomes more popular and they grow ever so slightly, people start a hate train. And then this hate train leads to them growing sort of more in popularity. And then as they actually get more popular, the hate mellows down and then people sort of start to enjoy their music. And it goes like that every single time. It happened with Ice Spice when Munch was released. That's the only example I can think of right now. But like, those are a few of my predictions. I'm gonna end the video here, at least for now, for what I think, guys. Peace!